0-0, top of the third inning. Astros general manager Jeff Luhnow joining us after a frantic period. Well, there were more trades I saw in this 2-month period than there have been in 20-some-odd years. Jeff, what do you think?
There was a lot of activity. I think the wild card has something to do with it. A lot of teams have a chance to get in the playoffs, and everybody's looking to get better this year.
You obviously were burning up the phone lines, as were all the GMs. A lot of deals came down. And it was interesting to see the Scott Feldman trade, the way that played out. That was a weird night last night, wasn't it?
It was a little strange when the guy comes to the stadium, he thinks he's going to pitch for one team and ends up going to the other side and giving up the winning run. But I know a lot of our fans are disappointed we maybe didn't make some of those big moves, but we didn't because we have a good, healthy, young team that can compete, and we didn't want to give up some of the guys that they were asking for, the Bregmans, the Reeds, the Musgroves. We want to hang on to those guys. We think they can help us this year.
Well, and I think, too, maybe a little more explanation might be the Rangers are a little bit older team. They are living right now, as opposed to what you're talking about. The future is in the next couple of years, but you want to extend that winning window a little bit longer than what the Rangers are trying to do maybe this year or next year.
Yeah, you're exactly right. We have such a young team, and we're going to be good for a long time. So to think about giving up these young guys that can help us now doesn't make a lot of sense. Other clubs, maybe their players are aging. Maybe they see that their window might be closing. And they've got to make some moves now to try and maximize their chance of winning when they can.
Fans booing Carlos Gomez for the way he played that single to center field by Josh Tolle. And that's the way the third inning gets underway. It seemed to me from what we were reading that the Rangers and the Astros both had kind of the same targets, the elite starting pitching guys, and none of those guys moved.
That's true, and there's a reason they don't move, at least this year. The guys that were potentially available still had many years of control, so teams were asking for not only major league players back, but maybe your top 3 or 4 prospects, which would have cleaned out our system and maybe taken a player or 2 off our roster right now, and we just weren't prepared to do that for the benefit that it would have brought, and made the decision for the organization to stand tight.
And watching those things unfold, did you kind of had a sense going into this whole situation, because you know that guys in this organization have been coveted, considering how deep this organization is. Nice play.
Oh, how about that one from Bregman with a quick release, Jeff?
That's outstanding. Good instincts right there.
Good athleticism and very good instincts. The thing that I liked is he didn't give up on the play either.
Yep.
Sometimes you get these young guys go after a play, they don't want to force it. I think Bregman put himself in a great position to make a good feed. And again, I seriously believe that slide rule is why Altuve is able to hang in there a little bit longer and turn that double play right there. But again, completely lost my train of thought. But I know that when you were watching some of the trades that were going on early on, you had to have an idea that they were going to aim a little bit higher, knowing what you had in the bank, so to speak.
Yeah, they were. And, we've spent a lot of time building up this organization. We have so many good young players, and we want to see those players play for us here in Houston, not play for other teams. And I think, sometimes you like your guys a little too much maybe, and we might be victim of that. But I'll tell you what, I'm thinking about a couple years from now, the lineup we're going to have, the pitching staff we're going to have. And quite frankly, we've been one of the better teams in baseball since May 1st. So I think we have what it takes to win this year.
And here's one guy who might make you think that, Lance McCullers.
No doubt. He's turning out to be an ace. This is the guy. We knew he had all the potential in the world, but he's getting better and better with every start. And I got to tell you right now, if we're in the playoff series, he's probably the guy on the mound.
It just seems that his fastball command has gotten so much better here in the last month or so, Jeff.
It has. And that's a lot of hard work on his part, a lot of work with Strami. This is one of the hardest working guys in our organization, and it shows.
Bautista rips one. That'll get into the seats. 1-0 Blue Jays, and that's number 300 of Bautista's career.
And as good as that fastball is, there's still big league hitters like Jose Bautista out there. 300th home run on his career. You get into a 3-1 count. I don't think Lance McCullers is going to back down from many guys. He challenged him. Bautista got him. And now that we have you up here, I'd like you to be able, if you could, kind of explain the post-trade deadline waiver situation. What guys get put on, how you can pick them up, teams blocking. I know it's kind of complicated, but for us.
Yeah, no, it is complicated, but every player basically gets put through trade waivers, and then teams will claim them if they have interest. And if you're the lowest team to claim them in the standings, you have the rights to negotiate with the other team. most deals don't happen, but there are some that happen every year. We claimed Oliver Perez last year. We were able to get him done.
That's a liner to left field. Looks like extra bases for Donaldson. And here's Rasmus firing into second, and it's not extra bases. Altuve tags him out. Can you stay with us, Jeff, for another half inning?
Absolutely.
They may challenge this, but that would be to no avail. There is outfield assist number 12 for Colby Rasmus. And before we take it to commercial, we'll wait and see what John Gibbons and his staff decide to do. Donaldson seems to think it's worth reviewing. Yeah, they're going to review it. So while we do, we'll just go into this a little bit further about the whole waiver process. And you mentioned that here's another look at the play with Rasmus throwing. And we've seen this a lot, Jeff, from Colby in left field. Now, what do you think on that look?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's going to be pretty close. I don't know if they've got enough to overturn it there. The foot might have gotten in before the glove touched his leg.
Might have.
Yeah, I would agree with you. I think he's out too, but I love the fundamentals of Altuve going to the front of the base first and then recognizing where the player is and going for that foot. Nah, he's out.
I'll tell you, Colby has made so many of those plays. I know the wall helps a little bit because he's a little closer, but he really has such good instincts.
Yeah, but still, you can't anticipate off that manual board out there in left field on the Crawford boxes, and he does such a great job of putting himself in position. If he does get the good hop, he's able to turn and make that great throw.
And the throws are so accurate. That's the thing that makes all the difference in the world. You can have a great arm, but if you don't throw it right to Altuve's glove, he's not going to get the guy.
Yeah, the luxury of having 3 center fielders across your outfield. He always finds a way to put himself in good position to make that throw.
And McCullers is going to keep himself loose in case this is overturned and the inning continues here.
How do you feel about the length of these replays that go on?
I think they've done a pretty good job overall. There haven't been too many that take too long, so I'm happy with the process.
You got it, Jeff Blum. We'll be back with Jeff Luhnow in just a moment. 1-0 Toronto.